Hey, Inside Crypto people, welcome back to the latest episode of Bitcoin Weekly. Bitcoin currently sitting at $68,000, losing that $69,000 support line. Let's see where things are going to go. Bitcoin's options interest remains positive. We'll talk about that later. Marathon Digital's stock price goes up 150% and outpaces Bitcoin. I don't know if that's to be believed. It won't be long before crypto payments extend beyond Lugano, Switzerland. We're also going to talk about cryptocurrency mining and green hydrogen, why that might be the future of oil mining going forward. And the last story for today is famous ex Twitter economist reveals or believes that $110 billion has entered the cryptocurrency space in the last 30 days, the highest amount ever. All these stories and more on today's episode. So stay tuned, don't move, and let's get started. All right, as you can see, Bitcoin currently at $68,980.84, down 2.7% in the last 24 hours. When I woke up this morning, it was about $69,000. It recently took that next leg down. As to reasons why, I'm not 100% sure. I haven't seen any stories related to that. Then again, it just might be the usual cases of people selling Bitcoin, people cashing out, people taking profits. No specific stories at the moment, but if you do know a reason why, please comment down below in the video. And let's move on to today's first story. Crypto market in Zen mode as Bitcoin remains stable at 70K ahead of halving. All eyes are on the upcoming halving event. So it's believed to be in about 17 days or so. And again, we know Bitcoin is no longer at 70K and possibly no longer stable. But I think overall it's pretty stable. And we'll talk about the options and that stuff a little bit later. It says Bitcoin is trading above 70K. We know Bitcoin is not. Well, either above 3,600 as of Monday. Bitcoin halving options. Bitcoin halving event keeps options volatility high while perpetual futures funding rates remain inflated. Today we're going to talk about options and what that means for you guys. Again, another new site that potentially you guys could add to your browser where, when you're thinking about buying Bitcoin or selling Bitcoin, or if you're thinking of buying Bitcoin for the first time, you could have a look at this information and then at a glance understand what's going on and what your decision should be to buy, to sell, to get into crypto for the first time. Let's get started and let's have a look at it. All right, so you can't quite see this just because I've cut the window, but if you go to coingeist.com/options, you'll have a look at this, right? And it shows options, open interest, call versus put. And I had to look this up because while I studied this a very long time ago, I do not remember. So basically, if you're new to this space and new to the idea of options, calls are basically the expectation that the Bitcoin price is going to go up, and puts are the expectation that the price is going to go down, right? So overall, it's 65.91% of options traders believe the price is going to go up. 34.09% are believe the price is going to go down. In the last 24 hours, though, the number narrows significantly, right? It's not 50-50, but it's somewhat close, right? With 58.7% of people believing the price of Bitcoin is going to go up and 41.3% believe the price is going to go down, which is very interesting. So this is something that you can take as an indicator to be like, okay, if I'm buying Bitcoin now, the price could potentially go up in the next 24 hours or in the next however long period of time, or potentially on the other side, the price of Bitcoin could potentially go down. So definitely keep that in mind. Let's go on to today's next story. Marathon Digital's stock price outpaces Bitcoin's 150% rise as halving looms. Of course, Marathon Digital is one of the few companies that are mining Bitcoin at an industrial scale. Again, if you Google Bitcoin mining, you'll have a look at pictures. I'll probably splice it into the shorts video. At the moment, it's just these walls of these tiny, very loud machines mining Bitcoin and making money in some cases, depending how the people are mining. So, of course, if you're somebody who's investing in Bitcoin mining, I believe lots of people are critical of Warren Buffett for that because his cryptocurrency sucks, but at the same time, he's making money from Bitcoin mining companies. And again, 150% rise in a stock price is pretty impressive, especially if you bought a large amount of Marathon's stock. This is, again, another safe way in some ways for people to dip their toes into the cryptocurrency space is to buy some Marathon stock. Again, not financial advice. And it makes sense is that for a lot of people, they see the price of Bitcoin going up. They don't want to step into the crazy volatility that is Bitcoin. And then a sort of secondary option might be to buy Marathon Digital or some of the other companies that are mining Bitcoin. And it makes sense. If you're a Bitcoin mining company and you've seen the future, the Bitcoin halving is going to reduce production. So the price of Bitcoin should theoretically go up. But at the same time, if you want to keep your profit margins high, you want to be investing in green energy, you want to be investing in renewable energy, you want to be investing in more mining machines, you possibly want to relocate to a place where electricity is very cheap, or potentially you want to move to 100% renewables where you're not paying the electricity grid for that. I mean, you might want to be taking out a loan or two to invest in more mining machines or things like that. So we talked about this before. I remember looking at a chart, this is from Cointelegraph, where they broke down the cost of mining one Bitcoin per mining company. And it was really interesting that some people were spending $71,000 at that point. This is probably in about 2 months ago to mine a single Bitcoin. And that's because those are the people that believe that Bitcoin is going to hit $150,000, $200,000 or more in the future, or maybe $1.5 million, like some people expect in the very long term or in the short term, depending who you talk to. This is interesting. Do you own any Bitcoin mining stock? Let me know down in the comments. Let's move on to today's next story. It won't be long before crypto plays a role in daily payments beyond Lugano. This is by Gracie Chen. The Swiss city of Lugano is allowing residents and visitors to use cryptocurrency for everyday transactions, including tax payments. As usual, if you check out the story and you scroll down, you can see there's a map and it shows like where you can use Bitcoin. The Bitcoin symbol is on the map. So to pay for your daily transactions with Bitcoin, which is pretty awesome. And of course, Switzerland, as with 21 Shares, 21 Co, right? That's something we're connected to. And the Swiss have always been ahead of the game when it comes to cryptocurrency and cryptocurrency payments. That being said, I'm not a huge believer in Bitcoin as a payment mechanism, even though it's in El Salvador with the Lightning Network. I think we're going to be using stable coins in the future just because it is stable to pay for things. And just going to 7-Eleven or McDonald's or Starbucks and using the QR code on my phone, they scan it and deduct straight out my crypto wallet. And I keep track of all these transactions, which is pretty awesome because at the moment, right, when I go to Starbucks and I pay with one of my credit cards, the problem is that I don't get a receipt, right? I have to log into my credit card company to see where the money is spent. And even then, I can't, if I buy Starbucks coffee today and I go home today to check it out, it's not going to be on my online bank's site. This might just be a Taiwan thing, but that's extremely irritating. Unlike crypto, when I do a crypto transaction, like today, I donated 3Matic to this online game that I'm playing. And immediately I can see I spent 3Matic for this thing, which is pretty awesome. And I think going back to the title of today's headline, right? It will be a long time just because crypto is still complicated. I'm still testing out new and amazing mechanisms for people to get involved with crypto. That being said, I still don't see the average person out on the street in Taiwan or your grandmother or grandpa or someone even my age here, or even in South Africa saying, okay, I'm going to get into this because setting up a wallet and the passphrase and self-custody and all that stuff is really way too complicated for people, even in 2024, possibly 2026, if I'm really optimistic about better UI, better systems to onboard people. We'll see. But still, this is a great positive story. And let's move on to today's next story. So this is from mining.com. It says, pairing cryptocurrency mining with green hydrogen boosts deployment of renewable energy, study finds. A recent study by Cornell University, researchers found that pairing cryptocurrency mining, notable for its outsized consumption of carbon-based fuel, with green hydrogen could provide the foundation for wider deployment of renewable energy such as solar and wind power. So basically what this story is saying, right? And again, I was a big cryptocurrency miner. A lot of miners now are using their mining power or their cards into sort of AI research or deploying decentralized AI computing power, right? But basically, yeah, this cryptocurrency does use a lot of not renewable energy or fossil fuels. And here in Taiwan, we're at 50% renewables. So when I'm mining or when I was mining, we were using 50% fossil fuels and 50% renewable, which is still better than a lot of places, but still not great. And still some places are 100% renewable, which is entirely impressive. So for those of you who are confused, what is green hydrogen? Green hydrogen is basically the electrolysis of water to produce hydrogen, which can be used as a fuel. And of course, I just Googled it before the show. Green hydrogen is largely the biggest producer in the world is China. So I think this is a fantastic idea, right? We know cryptocurrency is the future and digital payments and like electronic currencies are going to be the future. Why not incentivize people to do the mining to secure the networks by saying, okay, if you want to mine, you have to mine with green hydrogen, invest in it, and then we'll figure out some way to give you a tax break or something like that, right? I think that could be a very good case. Definitely check out this article from mining.com. it makes a really good case for green hydrogen. Check out the case study by Cornell University, which is an Ivy League university for those people who are not familiar with American universities. It's an interesting idea to incentivize people. If we are going to go into this landscape of digital currency, digital assets, and mining, why not do it with green energy and renewable energy? All right, today's last story is all-time high. $110 billion in fresh capital enters crypto market in just 30 days, says crypto analyst. I've seen articles of this story. This is on April 1st. This might be an April Fool's joke. I don't think it is. I have seen this being mentioned. If it is an April Fool's joke, let me know down in the comments. But it seems reasonable, right? When you think about the ETFs and how much Bitcoin they have bought, when you think about companies like MicroStrategy and Tether, how much Bitcoin they have bought, when you think about all the money going into altcoins like Ethereum, right? And with the Bitcoin upgrade going to happen really soon, it makes sense that $110 billion has entered the crypto market. I'm not 100% surprised. And again, we're talking about a potential Ethereum spot ETF at some point in the future, potentially in May. We don't know if that's going to happen or not. Again, lots of people pouring money into the space, right? And then there's the idea of FOMO, where people are like, oh my God, all this stuff has gone up. There's loads of videos about Cardano, about Solana, about meme coins again. So there is definitely a large amount of money pouring into the space. That is a record high, according to Ali Martinez, and that's wonderful. Hopefully this holds true, and hopefully people understand there is going to be volatility in the space still. Maybe not a huge amount of volatility, like Bitcoin is currently sitting at $68,000. That's not to be surprised, right? Prices will go down, prices will go up. We'll set new all-time highs, we'll set new lows in terms of volatility. Going back to a previous video I did where the influencer Jason Pizzino said he expects a 20% drawdown at times during this bull market cycle. So please be aware of that. And that's it. So if you guys enjoyed today's video, as always, I enjoy making these. I love the support we're getting. I'm slowly looking at the videos and trying to figure out what sort of stories you guys like and the format. And I want to make the long videos a bit better. So let me know, how could I make the long videos a bit better? I think maybe a better camera, maybe a better background. We'll see. But as always, stay tuned for more videos. I'm getting close to nailing down April's guest. So I will let you guys know when that does happen. Thanks again for the support, and see you guys next week, same time, for another Bitcoin Weekly. Take care.